Bismillah wa salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah. Welcome back. Now today's lesson, as we told you that we've entered now Unit 5. Flying High 6, Unit 5, Money Talks, reading page 51. Now before that we took reading page 50. Now we're going to revise or recap what we've taken before. Now, afford, what does it mean afford? If you can afford something, you can buy it. Bargain. Bargain means, it has two meanings. I told you that. The first one is يفاصل مع الواحد يعني كاسر, or it means صفقة. So it's a good bargain. صفقة ممتازة. Okay. Cash. Cash means you pay cash, you pay with money. Change. Now we told you that change has two meanings. Change يبدل, and also change means فكة. Okay. If you have 100 riyal and you give it to the seller and he gives back to you 10 or 50, that's change. Or even coins. Discount, I think it's really notable, this one. You know, discount means تخفيض. Receipt. The letter P, I told you that the letter P you don't pronounce it, you say receipt. Receipt, fatura, receipt. Refund, when you have something and you want to return it. If you buy a coat, for example, and you want to return it, that's refund, and you take the money back, it's called refund. Okay? Sale, if you come into a shop and everything is on discount, it's called a sale. Sale means تخفيض. Value for money, قيمة المال, قيمة للمال. Okay? Waste. Waste has two meanings. هدر, إهدار, شيء, or even means نفايات. Now today's lesson is about speaking. Now speaking. Work with a partner. Imagine that you are going to open a bank account. You're going to open a bank account. What does it mean a bank account? حساب في البنك. What information would you like to know before you open the account? What kind of information you want? What is the information you want to know, to ask? Every bank has its own way of opening a bank. So you have to have a reason. Why are you opening this bank? You have to ask for the things before you open a bank, or an account, a bank account. Make a list of these question. Make a list. Now make a list. Now, for example, do they give you a debit card? You remember what's a debit card? It's an ATM card, but you have to put money in it. Do they give you a debit card? Do you give me a debit card? Now, we're going to listen to these text 1, text 2. We're going to listen to it. And this guy wants to open a bank account, but he doesn't know how to. So, these two texts are going to explain things to us. You have 5 minutes to read these two texts, 1 and 2. Two texts. What is the purpose of each text? Now, what is the purpose of this one? What is the purpose of this one? ما هي الغاية من هذه وهذه الغاية؟ ما هي الغاية من هذه المقطع? So, where might you find each one? Where can you find them? Where do you find these two texts? Okay, we're going to listen to it and then we're going to see.
When they are living at home, most students don't really need a current account. But when you go to university, you should definitely consider opening one. It makes it easier for people to send you money, and it also means that you can pay bills and shop without cash.
Okay, in this part, in text 1, he's talking about when you live with your mom or your family, you don't usually need a credit or a bank account. But when you go to university, you have to have a bank account. Why? It makes it easier for people to send you money, for your parents to send you money. Also, it's easier to pay for things without carrying cash.
Most banks are happy about opening a current account for students. They hope that if you start banking with them now, later when you start earning large amounts of money, you'll stay with them. Banks use typical advertising technique to attract you. They sometimes offer free vouchers, sports tickets, electronic gadgets, or other incentives. But before you open a bank account just because of a free gift, you ought to think twice about the conditions that the account offers.
Okay, now, when you go to a bank, they love you. Why? Because you're new. They think when you open a bank with them, you'll stay with them for a long period of time, even after you go out of the, graduate from university. That's a kind of advertisement. Advertisement means di'aya. Now, also, when you go to them, most banks will give you incentives. Incentives means muhaffizat. These incentives might be machines, gadgets, alat, electronic machines, or vouchers, hadaya, or sports ticket, tadakir. So it depends on the bank.
First, do they offer an overdraft? If the answer is yes, and it usually is, how big are the overdraft fees? You must find this out before you need to use the overdraft, or you can get a very unpleasant surprise.
Okay, now, but before you take these incentives, muhaffizat, before you take these gifts, you have to ask about things. The most important thing is the overdraft. What is the meaning of overdraft fee? Fees, ujra. Okay, overdraft, the amount of money that you take from your bank without having money. المال اللي تاخذه من البنك بدون ما يكون عندك فلوس. Okay, that's overdraft. So how much fees do they take from you? كم المبلغ اللي ياخذونه منك؟ الأجرة. Okay, so if they take a lot of money, you'll get what? Unpleasant surprise. Unpleasant surprise, مفاجأة غير سارة. Okay?
Do you get a debit card with the account? Obviously, this is the easiest way to pay nowadays in most shops, cafes, and restaurants. But be careful with debit cards. They're so easy to use that you can find you're trying to spend more than you have in the bank. If you make a mistake, the bank may fine you.
Okay, so now ask them also, do you give me a debit card? Most banks will give you a debit card. It's okay with them. But the problem is that with debit card, you kind of take money without knowing. And then you lose a lot. Now, if you lose all your money in your account, they will close your account. The bank will close your account. So be careful when you're using a debit card. Okay?
Check whether your bank offers free banking. This means that for basic services, you don't have to pay any bank charges, provided that you have money in your account. Remember, you mustn't get into debt if you don't want the bank to close down your account.
Okay, now also you have to look for fees for the bank. When you ask for things or you ask for papers or something, they charge you. So ask for that. Now also be careful not to be in debt. Debt, we took it before, debt means dain. Now if you have a large amount of debt, the bank will close your account and then you lose money.
Other important question is location. Some banks have branches near the university camps. You had better make sure that there is a branch near where you study or live, because it can save so much time. Most banks offer internet banking. And that is a great way to know the exact situation that your finances are in. But there are times when you just have to go to your bank in person. Apart from anything, some banks have special student advisors there who can give you useful advice.
Okay. Now, also look for the location. What's the meaning of location? Means the موقع. Now, if it's close to the university or not. Why? Because you could save time and also money when it's close. Now, when you go to a bank, some banks offer advisors, مرشدين. So they can tell you what to take, what to leave, what are the things that you should look for. Some banks, but some banks they don't. Okay? Also, some banks have internet banking. This will save lots of time for you. Instead of going to the bank, you can order through the internet. Now this is task 2 or text 2. We're going to read it.
That's really a good question. I opened my first bank account much too quickly. I should have looked around more carefully at the terms and conditions at different banks, but I just went to the branch nearest the university and opened it there. It was only after that I found that it had the worst conditions for students. So my first piece of advice to you is to look around carefully at the different offers.
Okay, in this one, he is given advice that you should look carefully. You don't go to the first bank and then open up an account. You should look first. You should look at the second bank. Look for the best offer. He made a mistake by opening at the first bank that he went into, and he got really fined for a lot of money. The bank took a lot of money from him.
To actually open the account, I had to take my passport, of course. I'm from outside the European Union, so I also needed to take my visa. I was worried because there was only 5 months left on my visa, and last year a friend of mine wasn't allowed to open an account because he only had 3 months left, but I was fine.
Okay, now in this one he had to take his visa and his papers with them, a passport.
The other thing I had to take was a thing called a letter of introduction from the university. It's simply an official letter that you can get from your uni. It needs to give your name, your date of birth, your UK address, and your home address. It must also say which course you're studying. When I went, I also took my driving license, but I needn't have taken it because the passport, visa, and letter of introduction were enough. I suggest you check with the bank you're interested in, because different banks ask for different things. I know a friend who had to give proof that there would be money coming into his account in the future. But I don't have to do that for my bank. I hope that helps. Good luck.
Okay, that's the end. Now, a letter of introduction, ورقة تعريف, from the university. Letter of introduction from university, he had to take it. Now, going back to the question, he said, what is the purpose of each text and where you might find them? Now, the first text information is a text for students going to the university. They might receive this from the university to tell them about the banks that they are going to open. So that's a letter from the university. It might be a letter from the university. But this one, it's kind of a letter from a person who tells him where to go, what to do. It's a kind of private letter, or from a forum. Forum معناها منتدى. Forum. منتدى. Discussion. Okay? Now, what problems, now this is a question. Answer these questions with information. Now we have to look at these questions. You have, I think, 9 questions. Look at them at your book and try to find the answers. For example, what problems can debit card create? With debit cards, it's easier to spend too much, and then your account could be closed down by the bank. Where did I find it? On text 1, line 21 and 28. So you have to look for that, for the questions, all of the questions. And thank you very much. I hope to see you again. وهذا وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد.